Hi, everybody. Welcome to FNS Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, back for another preview and predictions episode with my co-host and teenage son, Jackson. Say hello, Jack.
Hi.
Enthusiasm. Excellent. Off the charts. So you've got your green Gatorade. I've got my
melon pineapple
coffee and water, and we're going to talk about, there's a super mega busy weekend of wrestling for wrestling fans, right?
Well, at the time of recording, it's Friday. I don't know when anyone's listening to this, but we got Rampage tonight. Right. Hopefully, Chicago made Felipe.
He'll be there.
And then we got Summerslam and also your Impact.
Tonight is Impact Emergence.
And Rampage, so that's two things tonight.
Right.
And then Summerslam Saturday and Takeover Sunday, that's really weird, but that's how we're doing.
It's great because it's like the main event. The thing I want to see the most is actually the last thing, which is takeovers, because they're always great.
And it's summer hours for us, so it literally does not matter what day it is. Like, if this was
school time,
say WrestleMania was swapped takeover in this, like, then I would kind of be like, because I'd rather just stay up and watch takeover. Like, I could care less about watching Mania in one day, you know?
Yep, that's true.
So it doesn't matter, but it's kind of interesting. I think there's something on Sunday that they don't want to compete with, so they're throwing NXT to the wolves.
I think that's the case, yeah. I don't know if it's a UFC or boxing or something, probably.
I forget what it was. I saw, like, a while ago what it was, and those are, like, rumors that it would be on Saturday.
Those are usually the only two things
I forget. Otherwise,
Vince cares about.
Why would they put on Saturday, right? Like, it's always Sunday.
So with all of that wrestling on tap, what do I come downstairs this morning to find you watching randomly?
WrestleMania 3.
WrestleMania 3. And then yesterday, what was it? Survivor Series?
93.
And how are you finding the retro? WrestleMania 3 is going way back. That's when I just started, basically, the year after I saw my first Mania.
It was Strikeforce versus Morocco and Orton. And
Love
that
Strikeforce.
Was okay.
Strikeforce, I thought you said...
Sorry, I meant Canon Connection.
Yeah,
I thought it was Strikeforce at first because I saw Martel. And
that's reasonable. No,
they're basically the same thing.
Yeah, very similar. They were good, man.
Yeah, that was, like, for the time, that's, like, decent. And there's
for the time, for sure.
There was the one match was Bundy teaming with a couple little people.
Yep.
Versus Hillbilly Jim and a
couple other little people.
And then Bundy gets disqualified for slamming one of the little people, which is kind of amusing.
And I saw, like, the Billy Jack Haynes, I think.
Oh yeah,
Hercules
Billy Jack
Hernandez.
Haynes Hercules, yeah.
A bunch of stuff. And then I told you I've been getting into 1995 Nitro, which it's still only an hour show, so I'm flying through them, and I really like it. There's this little group of, like, Eddie Guerrero, Chris Benoit, Dean Malenko, Jerry Lynn under a mask, right? Sabu is there. So these guys seem to be rotating around matches and combinations, and it's funny because basically every week they have the match of the night because they're fantastic. But commentary...
Sabu wasn't there long, no?
No, I don't think so.
Because I remember, like, I think he was there and it was like he's too extreme or whatever.
So all these match of the nights happening, I would suggest, by these guys, while commentary spend like half of the match just putting over whatever the main event, like, oh, the Giant and Hulk Hogan and Kevin Sullivan and Jimmy Hart, while there's like an amazing match happening. It's kind of funny to see almost every week. But yeah, I've been really enjoying it.
I can't wait till we get to like 1996 and you watch pay-per-view. There's like I think it's pre-NWO, the Alliance to End Hulkamania.
Yes.
Oh, you should watch that, the Triple Cage.
So I watched enough of the Nitros leading up that I was telling you I watched, oh my goodness, what was it? Halloween Havoc with the Yeti coming out. So I watched all of that pay-per-view, which was something special. But anyways, I figured we should probably get into talking about wrestling.
I was looking at news quick, and NXT's, like, they're full-on done with Full Sail.
Oh, gross.
That kind of sucks.
Yeah, that does. And they're going to recording, which is not my favorite thing either, apparently.
USA doesn't want that. Well,
they do not, so we'll see where that goes.
We can talk about that again tomorrow.
Yeah, we're probably going to have a few shows coming out, so I say we get into this one. And
probably this one, the main one, possibly Impact, possibly SummerSlam, and definitely Takeover.
Yeah, for sure a Takeover and probably a bunch of other stuff too.
Maybe we'll lump SummerSlam and Takeover. Probably like this, except it'll be
wherever you found this, if you like what you hear, just keep an eye out because there'll probably be more stuff coming out in the next few days from us.
And recommend it to people if you know people that
Please do.
Have 3 hours to waste
every Saturday. Well, you can space it out during the week. You don't have to listen in one in one shot. That's what I do with some podcasts. You must, from beginning to end, all in one shot.
No, you can spread out. But recommend it to anyone who you think would like it. Just spread the word if you can.
All right, so let's move
plug the social quick.
Into talking about some wrestling, and we're going to start out taking a look at what will be on Strange to Say on Saturday, and that is a SummerSlam.
SummerSlam, the the third of the big four.
Mm-hmm. So you're gonna drive on this one while I drink coffee and give my opinions.
You're saying, how excited are you for this?
Not very, to be honest. There's not really, like, just scrolling through the matches listed. No. I mean, Belair and Banks could be good, I guess.
Let me put it this way. Edge, John Cena, and Goldberg are all in prominent matches in 2021, so I'm not exactly excited for this.
I am at very, very low levels of anticipation for this, and sometimes that's okay, because maybe it's easy for them to clear that bar then, I guess, right? Because I'm
not excited for this. I'm also not excited for this, but...
And it's
just kind of happening, you know?
I don't closely follow the product. I mean, I do follow it. I don't watch it.
That might be part of it, but even then, like, if since we're following it, if it looked good, I'd be like, this looks cool, I can't wait to watch this. Even Banks Belair, they had a good match at WrestleMania, so I don't really need it again.
And everything that I read and listen to talking about the main roster stuff I don't watch, they're not, like, they've complained about the build to almost everything, so I don't imagine I would be thrilled with it either, because it's mostly people that I tend to agree with, right? And they have not been impressed with the build too much, other than, like, some good Cena Roman promos type thing. Everything else seems to be lackluster.
I've seen clips of them. They don't look that good.
No?
I think people just love Cena too much, and, like, because they...
Love Cena too much? That's weird.
They go, like, a little behind the curtain or whatever. Like, they're talking about gimmicks and being over and Dean Ambrose and...
Yep.
Like, it's just, like, cool, I guess.
I guess maybe not.
Like it's like I feel like, but those are just the casuals being like.
Yeah, I guess so. Doesn't interest me, to be honest.
I'm not casual.
You are not. So let's get into it. What match you want to start with?
So we start off with AJ Styles and Omos versus WWE's 1 millionth Odd Couple tag team. This time RK Bro, which is Matthew Riddle and Randall Keith Orton.
I guess it's a little different take on the reluctant, because they're not exactly reluctant. One member is, like, super into it, and the other one doesn't.
They're doing that on NXT too.
Right, so yeah, that's true.
Like 2 teams at the same time.
Yep.
So do you want to go first?
Go ahead.
I'm gonna pick RK Bro, I guess. So I'll give credit to WWE where credit is due. For better or for worse, they've actually been building RK Bro for a decent amount of time. Right, like, whether it's been, like, good or not, they've at least been putting in work to it, and
I think
this
people
has been
like
coming
it.
for a bit. Yeah, people seem to like it. I don't really care. I think Riddle can do better, and I think Orton's just kind of meh.
Yeah.
But it's very possible and somewhat likely that Orton does turn on Riddle. But I'm gonna pick them because I find Styles and Omos really boring just from the matches I've seen from them.
I'm gonna disagree.
I have no interest in them being champions anymore. I find them really boring.
I don't have a lot of interest in this match other than an extended segment that would be like Styles and Riddle. That would be cool to see, actually, because that feels kind of fresh, right? But
no, they feuded last year when AJ was Intercontinental Champion.
Yeah, but I wasn't watching, so to be honest, right? That would have probably been on television that I didn't see. So to me, it feels fresh.
Yeah, it was. It was like Ron Riddle debuted on SmackDown.
I'm going to say the champions retain because RK Bro seem to be kind of getting over organically with the crowd, and Vince hates nothing more than that, right? So there's my logic.
Yeah, but they're not getting over themselves, though.
I think they kind of are. I think this was kind of like people really like it, so they're exploring it a little bit, and Vince, in the end, is going to be like, I don't want it, but I could be wrong. And I don't know, you must have forgotten this key fact. Omos is really, really big. Like, he's the biggest man in this match, buddy.
That's true.
So I don't know, man.
Paul White has taught us anything, is that big men destroy everybody no matter what.
Big equals dominant for this. So I would, I'm going to take the champions defend because of bigness.
No, I'm calling it, Riddle will climb the top turnbuckle, and Randy Orton will climb onto his shoulders and hit a super duper RKO.
Yeah.
Because Omos is super tall.
And I just feel like there's a chance Vince is like, this Riddle kid's getting himself over, and I don't like it. So
that's a very Vince thing to do.
It is. So I'm going to count on Vince doing Vince, and that's my pick. And partly I just don't want to have the same picks throughout this. So What do you have next?
Next we have Alexa Bliss versus Eva Marie.
Yep, we sure do.
I want to start off by saying I have no idea how this is even on SummerSlam. This is one of their biggest pay-per-views of the year. They have one of their worst current gimmicks, taking on one of the worst female wrestlers I've ever seen.
That seems fair to me. I think that's a fair assessment
And
from where I sit.
So I'm gonna have to go with Alexa Bliss, I guess. And for those of you who don't know, they're essentially fighting over a doll.
Yep.
Lily. I think there's
Listen,
something...
why is there this tone in your voice like two adult women fighting over an animated toy doll, and poorly animated from what I hear? Why do you sound sort of judgmental about this?
I'm sorry. No, that's a perfectly normal issue.
How dare you?
Weren't you just arguing with Mom over a doll last night? I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Exactly.
I couldn't even sleep. It was so
exactly.
loud.
And that doll wasn't even like winking at me or whatever this
or
one
like
has been doing.
Going like...
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
But like apparently I think the thing I saw was like Eva Marie wants it because it's got powers or whatever. And
well,
if that's not that's like the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
This is just the perfect storm for me. Who are you picking
So,
before
like,
I get into mine?
How is this even considered for SummerSlam? I honestly don't get it. I'm gonna have to go with Alexa Bliss, I guess.
Yep.
Like,
that's fair.
Eva Marie is garbage in general, and we all know Bliss's gimmick is horrendous. But I guess I'll pick Bliss because I hate Eva Marie slightly more. It's literally a matter of who do I hate more. And honestly, I don't care that much.
I'm starting to think this is the match I'm most excited for because there's a chance that this goes so far into...
See, then I think you're like me. You just like to watch bad stuff.
But it can go so far into bad that
It's
it comes
funny.
back around into, like, kind of good. And so you've got, like... This is the perfect storm for me. You have terrible wrestling in Eva Marie.
Gimmick.
And you have magic and supernatural, which is also...
Yeah, remember when we were on the 1 year thing, we were talking about, like... What's more important? Like, you have good gimmick and good wrestling.
Yes.
This is bad of both. So this is actually...
So I'm on the record as not liking magic supernatural stuff pretty much at all. So this is like all things thrown together for me in one big stew of awfulness. So I'm kind of looking forward to this. And I'll take Eva Marie just to be different. I imagine Piper Niven.
Whoa, who's Piper Niven?
Sorry.
Are you talking about Dewdrop?
Yeah, there you go. Because at the time I was writing this, I couldn't think for the life of me what her name was.
I saw this really funny
and then
picture.
I couldn't be bothered
Someone
to look it
put
up.
Drew McIntyre's face on it and called it Drew Drop.
So maybe she gets involved, or maybe she turns on Eva and Alexa wins. But for the
yeah,
record,
because Eva seems to be a meanie stink.
I'm gonna take Eva Marie, and this could be amazing.
Next we have Drew McIntyre versus Jinder Mahal. We go from feuding over a doll to feuding over swords and motorcycles.
Not only a motorcycle, but a motorcycle that you have built a toy around.
Yeah.
Right?
No, yeah, a motorcycle that's literally like...
Based off of a toy.
It was only on TV, yes, to market a toy. I'm going to pick with McIntyre. Jinder Mahal is not winning. They gave him a chance for some weird reason years ago, and it absolutely flopped. It ain't happening again. McIntyre is around the top of the card and clearly above Jinder. And they were both jobbers in 3MB, right? Which is where they kind of have history together.
Yep.
And only one of them became a sustainable top star, and that's who's winning. And also, this is stupid. I don't care. And Drew McIntyre needs to put that sword in storage.
I think there's a chance Jinder wins. I'm not picking him, but I think there's actually a chance just
Probably.
Because things
Maybe
are such a
by
mess.
shenanigans, too, because he's got, Veer and Shanky.
But this feud annoys me greatly because there is so much real history between these two that they could have tapped into at any point, right? From 3MB
Even if it's acknowledging like this crappy gimmick they did a while
to 3MB to their singles runs after that, there's all kinds of stuff and that's my favorite, is when they do go back to either storyline stuff from the past or stuff from people's actual past and include it in storylines. So instead of using all of that stuff that's just sitting there waiting for them that I think would have worked really well, they went with this sword and motorcycle stuff, and it's a prime example of why I can't watch the vast majority of main roster stuff, because this is what they do. It's not just that this storyline itself is lame, it's that there's other stuff sitting there that was a way better option that you just walked right by to get this guy with a giant sword that I don't know if they can sell that, but I imagine there's some sort of toy coming out of it. I wouldn't be surprised. And a motorcycle. So I can't stand this feud. I'm going to take Drew, but I do think there's a slight chance Jinder wins. And then you will be screaming, but that's okay.
I honestly don't care about Jinder anymore. It was more like his title reign was just like...
Yes, you didn't like. Canadian
garbage.
boy, come on. Support the Canadian boy.
He's more of a disgrace rather than someone you'd support.
I don't mind Jinder. But anyways, carry on.
Next
Who's next?
we have I'm very sad to be saying this. Seth Rollins versus Edge.
I mean, could be a good match in ring. I don't
Seeing the feud is
really care, but
the storytelling is decent. Cause it's like Edge got an opportunity that Seth wants, and then
and they're both kind of similar.
Then,
like in
Rollins
a way,
kind of got angry.
In a way, Rollins is like the new version of Edge, right? Where he's kind of that opportunist guy.
Which is
so
what they've kind of been saying, and I don't really see that a ton, but
I do. Took the opportunity to turn on the Shield. He's taken the opportunity for other to
cash in.
Right. So he's kind of there. I think it's even come up in the promos leading to this. Maybe I'm not sure.
That's what they're trying to say. Yeah.
I kind of do see it. Also, neither one of them are really big, overpowering guys. They're kind of like technical guys with a bit of whatever high flying and risk taking. I see some similarities. I'm not super interested in the feud,
but I think Edge can outwork anyone.
I think the match might be okay.
I picked Seth Rollins because I refuse to pick Edge, even though I'm almost positive he's going to win.
Oh,
he
nice.
shouldn't
You're giving
win,
me one.
But he probably will win. I don't understand how Edge, Cena, and Goldberg are all in prominent SummerSlam matches in 2021, but here we are. I'm essentially picking Rollins out of spite because screw Edge.
Nice.
And I hope Seth Rollins wears something awesome because he's got a pretty good track record. He's got that white attire you really like.
So this is what you're looking forward to.
Yes, that's what I'm looking forward to most.
You're probably looking forward to seeing the set and then people's attires.
The set, I don't trust them. It's probably gonna be the same. But Seth Rollins' attire, because he wore the white one that you love.
Yes.
I love that one too. The neon green one was cool. Deadpool one was awesome. Thanos one, that one's awesome. I love that one so much.
So he's got to keep that going.
2019 kind of sucked, but last year it was cool because it was the Rey Mysterio.
I love how you remember people's specific.
It was
ring attire.
Yeah. Well, Seth Rollins has really good ones. So
I remember the white and gold one. That's it.
That one's good. I was playing 2K16 and I forgot I made one.
So I am gonna take Edge. You said it yourself. He's probably gonna win. I don't really know why, but I think one of the legends on this card, because you just rhymed off 3 matches with prominent legends, and I think one of them needs to win, and I don't think it's the other two.
Not to spoil our picks, but I mean, who's gonna pick the other dopes?
I'm not super clear on what Rollins has been doing lately. So I think I'm playing the probabilities by taking Edge here.
He's had way too many matches with Cesaro, I think.
Could be. If you say so, I believe you. Next
we have Damien Priest versus Sheamus for the U.S. title. I'm gonna go with Damien Priest because from what I've seen, Sheamus' title run has been really lackluster, and it feels like he's kind of a holding champion. Just until they find
I don't think the belt does anything
and I
for
don't
him.
think they needed to take the title off Riddle, but here they are, I guess. Yeah. And Priest is pretty good from what I know. I don't really know what he's been up to since the Bad Bunny incident, but from what I liked him in NXT, so
yep.
I think they should take a chance on someone new. Plus, Sheamus is kind of boring.
I just don't think
he's just there.
I think you're kind of the same. The United States Championship, I would prefer if that's one for younger up and coming. I don't think Sheamus gets anything from having that championship.
And I don't think the championship benefits from it either, even though he's one of their established guys.
So I'm taking Priest because I just have to hold out hope that some newer star, and I say newer but not younger because Damien Priest is not a young guy.
But he's at least a new guy for them.
Pretty sure he's late 30s. But anyways, I have to believe that someone like that can
he is one of the older NXT guys.
Can actually get a push at some point. And then, like I said, I don't think Sheamus is doing anything important with the title or really needs it. So it's time to see what they can do with Priest and give him a championship and hopefully keep building him, because he grew on me in NXT. He's still not one of my favorites, but I mean, would I rather have more Sheamus or more Priest? Easily more Priest, right?
Right.
So I'll take Priest as well.
Yeah, that's fair. Next, we got the Mysterios versus Usos for the SmackDown Tag Titles. I want to say this is on the kickoff. Either this or the U.S. title.
Sure. Yes.
I'm gonna go with the Usos because the Mysterios title reign was kind of lame. It's kind of sad that Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode had a better title run than they did.
Yep.
And they're the most boring random tag team of all time, but they were at least they were defending in constant 4-ways with Alpha Academy, Street Profits, and the Mysterios. There's constant defenses on TV. I think people like those matches, right? So I know, they were at least constant champions, and it feels like the Mysterios did nothing. They literally lost the titles on a kickoff show.
Right.
And I kind of like the Bloodline with all the gold. I feel like that kind of bolsters their kind of gimmick.
Yep, I think
bolsters their gimmick, sorry.
That's the point, I think. Yeah.
Right, I just kind of like that. And then the loss for them, I guess, could fuel a turn for Dominic, which I think has been rumored.
That's
people are speculating that.
Yeah, I'm taking the Usos as well.
Plus,
maybe,
I like the Usos.
Maybe some increased tension between the Mysterios, I think, or a Dominic heel turn here. I think you're right that's coming. So I think we get some sort of like, either there's miscommunication and it costs them the match, and Dominic starts to show signs going forward.
Maybe not the full turn yet, because they don't have to rush it.
I mean, I know they don't have to, but it's WWE. He may turn and
turn.
turn.
Yeah, he'll turn.
He may
now.
turn and turn back before the end of the show, frankly, right? So.
That's not wrong.
So the bloodline, I think, by most accounts that I see and hear, is one of the only things really working in WWE. So I don't think they're going to mess with that at this point.
And I think even specifically, it's been Roman Reigns, but like
they do look better with all the gold, right?
Yep.
So I don't see
even though
why
the SmackDown tag titles are silver, but we're gonna let that
white gold. I don't see why the Mysterios need it back. So I'm taking the Usos.
Silver gold. Next we have Banks versus Belair for the SmackDown Women's title.
Again.
Yep. And
which is fine.
They made a point. They posted it like they're the next in the long line of feeds to have the title matches at WrestleMania and SummerSlam.
Oh, nice.
There's like Rollins Lesnar 2019. There's Reigns Lesnar.
Yep.
Angle Lesnar, like a bunch of people. Those are just the ones I remember. Oh, Angle Guerrero.
All pretty high profile
like,
things.
A bunch of people, right? Yeah. Guerrero Mysterio with the custody of Dominic Ladder match.
Oh boy. Yep.
But so I'm gonna pick Belair. I was gonna pick Sasha. A lot of people seem to think she's winning. I don't really see that. Because Belair's reign hasn't been great from what I've seen. Because constant defenses against Carmella.
Mm-hmm.
But she won it from Sasha, and her reign wasn't that great either with the constant Carmella matches as well. And so I feel like Belair should, if she's gonna drop it, they need to hold out for a little longer and drop it to someone else. Because, like, sure, Sasha's great and all, but her last reign really wasn't that great. To be fair, that was before she turned back heel.
Right, which is heel Sasha is better.
Still, that's why I'm gonna pick Belair, and it creates a bit of differentiation for us.
Because I'm gonna take Sasha. And just from what I've been following, like you said, I don't think Belair's reign has been really great. It's just kind of there.
It's like we were really happy for her. She got her moment at the Rumble. She won the title. I mean, like
really liked the match too.
It's really a testament to how crap they are that they messed her up. It's like she was one of NXT's best. It's really kind of surprising. Also, she never won the NXT title. I feel like that would have been really good.
You can find previous episodes of our Saturday show where I'm like, Bianca, when she's still in NXT, right? Like, she's the total package. She's can't miss. She's going to be a megastar.
And it feels like they kind of missed.
Kind of treading water.
Despite giving her the title. It's really weird.
So I could easily see Vince has sort of noticed this and is tired of Belair for a little bit and kind of puts her on.
Sasha's one of the reliable people in the division, right?
Feels the need to put the title on an established star and maybe try Bianca again.
Yeah.
So I'm taking Sasha for that one.
Right, and next we have our other women's title match, which, oh my god, I'm not interested in this at all. It's Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair versus Nikki Ash. So she's in there now.
So Rhea Ripley and Charlotte have been in each other's orbit for how long?
Since, like, post-WrestleMania.
Yeah. Awesome.
It sucked. It's
and actually,
been really bad.
The matches along the way, one of them was pretty good. I remember. I don't
remember loving any of them.
But anyways, and then you've got Nikki, who's like almost like a joke of a champion, being booked like a.
She's like
joke.
Okay, but like she's never been the best in ring, and I really don't like this.
I don't either. It's not
Hurricane gimmick.
It's not for me, as I like to say.
It's 10 notches below the Hurricane, I think.
When I'm trying to be nice, I say it's not for me.
It's definitely not.
It's not that it sucks. It's that it's not for me.
Yeah. So I'm going to pick Nikki, I guess. Because her gimmick might not be good, but I think she's okay. I think they should at least take a chance on someone new. I think her winning Money in the Bank and cashing in was actually surprising, which they don't do a lot. And they should run with it for a bit, because Ripley's reign sucked, but, like, we're talking about Belair not being great. Hers sucked.
They've sort of killed her twice now, I think, right? With the way they book her.
They really dropped the ball last year, and then they just murdered her this year.
And partly, I mean, she's not really great on the mic or character-wise either. I don't feel like she quite...
But she still got a lot of momentum at the end of 2019 and won the title. Like, it's like...
She's still got massive potential because she's kind of exactly what they look for, but I don't know how many years she can be a full-time member of the company, and I'm still going, like, she has massive potential, right? Like, at some point, you are what you are.
Right. And they shouldn't give Charlotte the title for the millionth time for no reason. Like, she does not need another reign. Like, they can't just, anytime something sucks, they can't just, here, go, give it to Charlotte. Like, like I'm saying
Oh,
with
yeah?
Sasha, if you want to get the title off of her, just give it to like someone else. I don't really know who else is there. Please not Eva Marie, but
You poor boy
just
trying to use
not
logic to
Charlotte.
book main roster. You poor boy. So I'm gonna say Charlotte mostly because Charlotte, but also
And because Vince.
you said no reason, but I'm saying the reason is they just released basically her entire family, so they may like throw
Yeah,
her.
I saw that, but like, does she really need a bone?
Well, they don't want her to leave. I don't think she's the one of that family that I don't think they can let go. So I don't know. I'm just kind of trying to find reasons to.
She's had too many runs, and too many of them have been like a day long.
Oh, I don't disagree, but I don't think like that has any bearing on this. I still can't believe it's Charlotte and Ripley in this. I
Like,
can't.
she'll get to John Cena level of title reigns, and half of them will have been like a day long.
And I don't think they have Nikki pegged as a long-term champion. So it's kind of like
No, but I think they should like wait till Becky Lynch comes back. Then like
Maybe.
that can't be far off.
I guess, but I'm gonna take Charlotte because I just don't. I can't see them keeping this version of Nikki as a champion for their program. But I could be wrong. But I'm taking Charlotte.
Next we move on to
Oh my goodness, this final.
Bill Goldberg
I've heard of him.
versus Bobby Lashley.
Sorry,
for
is
the
it
WWE
Goldberg's
title.
son? Is that what you mean?
Oh, I wish.
No,
That'd
it's
be much
actually
better.
Goldberg. Oh, he's old.
Yeah, he is actually.
Sorry,
He's probably like. How old do you think? he is?
50 something.
Yeah, that's dumb.
Not as old as Sting.
I'm gonna
but
pick Lashley. There's no universe where Goldberg should be winning the WWE title in 2021. He shouldn't even be challenging for it, but this is the situation we find ourselves in. There's no universe where this is even a possibility that he should win. Lashley's like, I don't know how good he's been doing lately, but he at least was interesting, and he's at least current. He's finally gotten a decent run, and it can't be broken by frickin' Goldberg.
So I am also taking Bobby Lashley, and they've worked really hard to make me not care about two of what they're considering the biggest
They're
matches
two
on
world
this show.
title matches.
So again, they seem to be strong at building main event heels, right? You've got Reigns on one show, you've got Lashley on the other, by most accounts doing a really good job, but they cannot build a babyface, a main eventer, to save their life. So they just, rather than try or put the time into it, they just look to the past because there's nothing they have right now through their own fault, and there's nothing that looks like it's coming down the pipe for them that they could build, like Keith Lee or something, right? And it's not the fault of the talent at all. There's abundant talent there. It's because whatever structure's above them isn't letting
fickle.
them build baby faces. Either it's creative doesn't know how to write for them, or Vince is vetoing stuff that does get written that's good, or whatever it is. By the time the baby faces are performing, they look stupid and nobody really is rooting for them. So, and that's part of the issue, because they have built these two heel champions really strong. It's really hard to see somebody that's going to beat them.
They haven't been able to build anyone that's going to beat them.
Right, so they'll just go, we'll just bring a couple retired baby faces back. That'll get us through. And I, for one, am not looking forward to it, but I'll take Lashley.
I'm not looking forward to this at all. Speaking of not looking forward to things.
Agree.
John Cena versus Roman Reigns for the Universal title. I pick Roman Reigns. 3 reasons. Number 1, Roman Reigns.
Yes.
Number 2, he has to be beaten by a newer star, probably Big E, whether it's a cash-in or not. And John Cena's got a movie to film, so that immediately shuts down anything he has.
Probably, yeah.
Unless they're really stupid. I really think Big E should beat Reigns by cash-in or not. I think he's a genuine babyface star that people actually like, that they could push to the moon. But they're kind of dumb.
I didn't even think of that. He could cash in tonight, conceivably, right?
Or tomorrow.
That would be a big baby face they could make there, I feel like.
People actually like him. A lot of people love him. I like him. Reigns hasn't had any believable opposition, and Big E's clearly on the rise. Either way, Cena loses.
The only problem, I guess, is it's not a very babyface move to like cash in on a champion after he had a
but I think
match.
we can, like, from a kayfabe standpoint, everyone probably thinks Roman's an ass. So
That's true.
It'd probably more be like justice.
That's true. Yeah, that could be. I'm taking Roman Reigns mostly for the similar reasons to you. Like, again, who's going to believably beat Reigns? Like, I know Cena's the most likely, but again,
Cena's Cena, but he's also part-time Cena now, right?
And
like, if this is full-time Cena, it'd be a different scenario, right? If this is prime Cena, it's a different scenario, but it's not.
Because Roman Reigns is like prime Cena if Cena were a heel right now, you know what I mean? He's just rolling in.
What a universe that would be! Is
biggest
like
thing going.
in Marvel, they have like a multiverse. If they're a multiverse scenario for this would be as heel Cena, like,
right?
just never happened. But I wonder what that would have been like.
So again, I think this is just further evidence they don't know how to build baby faces and top tier ones especially.
Right.
So this
the
is what we get.
The second John Cena was available, they went to him.
Right.
Honestly.
Well, those are our thoughts on SummerSlam. So
we actually had a decent amount of variation. We don't usually.
No, that's good.
There was more matches than there have been lately, so I think that kind of
there is
played a factor.
So we have to remember to go back to it because a lot of times, I would say like 80% of the time, we just never go back to it.
Yeah, so either we go back to it, or if you really want to see who did the best, you can go back to it.
Go into your notes for episode 57 right now and put in like a go. You know what I mean? Put a little reminder to yourself.
Or aren't we gonna? We'll look at these on the review.
Yeah. So let's take. Oh yeah, we gotta. That's what I'm saying. Make a note to remember that though. But let's move into taking a look at Sunday's show. I almost was gonna say Saturday because that's what I'm used to, but they flipped them. So Sunday night we will be getting NXT Takeover 36.
I really hope this is in arena too. I would just like to say.
Me too. I'm so done with the CWC. I can't even tell you.
With all the fans back now, it just and I really like the differentiation between NXT and takeovers because it would be like NXT was in Little Full Sail, which was great. I love Full Sail, which was why I'm kind of sad that's kind of gone. But then and then there's this really nice differentiation when takeovers would be in like the normal arenas that Raw and SmackDown
it needs to feel
right?
different, and it's not.
It made them feel much more big time, and it was a better atmosphere. It was essentially like those Full Sail fans multiplied and filled up an arena, right? So I really want to see that here. I get the feeling we probably won't, but it's not.
I'm just done with the tiny crowd and the banging on the plexiglass is annoying to me.
Yeah, I don't know why they still have the plexiglass.
Because Impact has a really small crowd, but they don't do that, and their crowds are actually pretty entertaining right now, whereas the ones we're getting for NXT don't really add anything, I don't think. But anyways, let's get into talking about this pay-per-view. Definitely won't take as long because there's only 5 matches, I think, as NXT tends to do, 5 or 6 for the most part. The first one I have listed here is the $1 Million Championship match, which is sort of hoping the culmination of a lengthy feud between LA Knight and Cameron Grimes, with Ted DiBiase now firmly on the side of Cameron Grimes, right?
And he will be Knight's butler should Knight come in on top.
Right, so Grimes is currently the butler, and if Grimes can win this, I guess his butler days are over is the point. And if Knight wins, then DiBiase replaces him.
So it's sort of a win-win for Grimes. It's just, I guess he wants to help out Ted and also win the meaningless title.
So this is one of a couple kind of light comedy stories that's been going on a long time and getting a lot of attention. That's not been my favorite, but I do love Cameron Grimes. What do you think's going to happen on this one? You can go first again.
So I'm going to have to go with Grimes. I think he's due for a win at this point. There's no way they're doing DiBiase Butler segments after they already did with Grimes, and I don't think Grimes needs to lose 3 times to the same guy. I think this is Grimes' redemption, and after this he can move on to better things, hopefully an actual title.
Yes, I will take Grimes as well, and if I'm going to fantasy book, I think I've said it before, he wins, he returns the title to DiBiase, and DiBiase sort of
says, hey Ted, I don't want your title.
DiBiase and the title go away, and then Grimes moves on to something else. He could be, now that he's a babyface contender for the North American title would be my suggestion.
Oh, I would love that. Him versus Swerve.
The contrast, right, with redneck millionaire Grimes and like the super cool, like hip Swerve, I think would be awesome, and they could have great matches.
And I think then there would be a clear dynamic, for the love of God.
Yes, and Grimes is amazing in the ring, as so is Swerve. So that's where I would be going.
I feel like that might be the only thing holding back the NA title feud between Escobar and Swerve. It's just the dynamics, just like. I feel like if it had a clear dynamic, it would fit on TakeOver.
It would help a lot just in terms of, because it is 2 kind of heels at this point. So yeah, I'm hoping Grimes wins, DiBiase and the belt go away, basically. The next one I have is a rematch for the NXT UK Championship, and that is Walter taking on Ilya Dragunov in maybe the match I'm looking forward to the most on this card, I would say. I think it is, actually. This is the one I'm most excited to see.
Sheerly on the first match they had.
Basically, almost my match of the year was in close consideration for that for me last year. So
I think the only reason it didn't win is because they had that awesome tag match at Revolution. That was just like the match of the year.
Because Walter is a beast. Who are you taking for this one?
The safe bet is obviously Walter.
It is.
And I do want him to reign for a while. I think it'd be really cool for him to like be the first person like a million years to have like a 1,000-day reign.
Right.
But nobody I think is more believable to beat him than Dragunov is right now.
Yep.
And as awesome as it would be, they just can't have Walter reign forever. You even said that's just not good for the brand, right?
Right.
Even if Walter's not going to the U.S., you could just maybe take a break from NXT UK. I say he's earned it, and then make a return down the line. I think it's time for them to change. I think Dragunov is actually really good now.
He is.
And I think he would be a good champion. He's the best choice to beat Walter we've been presented with this far, and I think one that I actually kind of believe.
So you're taking who?
I'm going to take Dragunov.
Wow, okay. Cool. I do think there's a chance you're right and Dragunov wins, but at this point, I just can't pick against Walter. It's kind of like in the football playoffs. I'm not, even though I can't stand him, I'm not picking against Brady until I see that he's too old to
Vulnerable.
play. So I'm not picking against Walter yet. No one's been more dominant in any WWE format than Walter over the last, couple years. If there were rumors of Walter staying in the U.S. or something, a title change would make sense and Dragunov takes it back, but I haven't heard anything about that, and the last thing you hear is that Walter does not want to come to North America for a long term, so I think Walter's going to win and hang on to the belt, but I do agree that Dragunov is the most realistic contender for this that they've had, and the story leading up to this has been simple
I think
but
I
really
have
good.
to back someone at some point. I think he's a good one to back.
And the story just was simple but really good building to this, so I think
sure.
it should be awesome.
That's also one for me.
But I'll take Walter. Next one, we've got the NXT Women's Championship match with Raquel Gonzalez, who was turned on by her best friend Dakota Kai, as Kai is sort of sick of the attention Gonzalez has been getting, and that she didn't Dakota basically just wanted her to join forces to win the tag team titles, and she felt Raquel wasn't contributing there, wasn't focused, so she turned, and here we are. What are you saying for this one?
I'm gonna go with Dakota Kai.
Nice.
Gonzalez is probably going to retain, but I really want Kai to win, and I think there's a decent chance she could, so I'm gonna take a bit of a risk and pick her.
Yep.
Just because Gonzalez will probably win, but I think Kai has a chance, and I do want her to win, so I'm gonna kind of just pick her for that reason.
Yep.
Gonzalez does feel like the type that could thrive on the main roster. She's what Vince wants. She's young-ish, I think, and big.
Exactly.
She could debut on the Raw or SmackDown after SummerSlam after dropping the title to Kai. Technically, she's done all she can do in NXT. She's held both titles. So she might be able to move up. She's already had a few defenses, and it feels like it could be Kai's time. I'm fine with her retaining, but I would love it if Kai wins. And I'd picked for a bit of differentiation.
So what are you saying? Gonzalez had both titles. One of them she had for how long?
Less than a day.
Like an hour or two?
Less
than 2 hours?
Speaking,
I know.
She's done everything she can do.
She does. I feel similarly about this as I do to the Walter match. You just substitute like heading to the main roster for staying in the US sort of thing. So I want Kai to win, and I think there's a chance, especially if Gonzalez is moving to main roster, because I agree she looks like a main roster person for sure. But I'm still going to take Gonzalez to win because they just made a bunch of call-ups. Her title run hasn't been very long yet. And I just hope eventually Kai gets a run with the title because I think she's awesome.
But it seems like the women's roster is really slim, and she could beat Nikki Ash.
I think she's one of the best all-round wrestlers on any roster, pretty much, Dakota Kai. She's in my top few.
I feel like Raquel would be a good choice to beat Nikki Ash, because we were just talking about that.
Heel monster Raquel could debut and kill the little superhero.
Yeah,
that would work.
Exactly.
So I'm still gonna take Gonzalez, and you took Kai, so that's good. All right, the next one is what they're calling the undisputed finale, 2 out of 3 falls match.
3 stages of hell.
Basically, Adam Cole versus Kyle O'Reilly. First fall is a straight up match. Second fall is a street fight, right? And the third final fall, if necessary, because I'm sure it won't be, is a cage. So what are you saying? This will probably be the longest match on the show we were discussing, I think.
Sure.
Yeah.
I feel like I should pick Kyle. They're both at 1 win apiece, and it's the classic, like, he'll come on top, he's the babyface. But there is a chance they'll book Cole to win because they want to keep him. And if we look to the very, very similar Cole Gargano feud from 2019, Cole actually won that 2 matches to 1.
Right.
Right? So that's one thing you can point to where see the heel wins overall.
Right.
This all depends on Cole's decision to leave or stay. If he plans on leaving, obviously O'Reilly is going to come out on top. If he stays, it can go either way, but then he has a better chance of winning.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, he's my boy. He's better in promos leading up, and so I'm gonna go with Adam Cole, baby.
Yeah, I'm taking Cole. I just think all this attention and any contract, they're trying to either he signed a contract and they want to reward him, or they want him to sign a contract, so they're gonna reward him. And I think he's crushed Kyle in the promos. Not that Kyle's done a bad job, but Cole's at
Cole's,
another level.
I feel like Kyle's still finding his footing, and Cole's already there.
So I think Cole's going to win this match. I'll take Adam Cole. He's just the bigger star, right? They got that whole contract thing going.
And despite him already having done stuff, I feel like he's got better future prospects.
There's a chance he puts Kyle over on the way to the main roster if that's what he's negotiated in, but I will still take Cole.
That's my nightmare.
Right. So then we get to what might be the main event, possibly. I don't know what the main...
No,
Are you confident?
I could see the Undisputed finale
Me
main
too.
eventing, honestly. I think it could go either way. I think this one is a chance to main event.
But it is Samoa Joe challenging the current champion, Karrion Kross. Question.
NXT title.
Is Scarlett there for the entrance? Because she's been pretty absent lately.
Probably not, because they want
I feel like not as well.
Just because, and I feel like Kross is going to go to the main roster after this, like full time.
Fingers crossed.
Which they...
No pun intended. Oh, that wasn't even intentional.
That was funny. But, and like, they want to split them up, I guess. So I feel like...
do seem to.
I don't think she will. I'm going to pick Joe.
Yep.
I think Kross has been champion for too long. He's been stinking up the joint for too long. He should have been gone after In Your House, and that multi-man match was literally the perfect opportunity to keep him undefeated, get him out.
Good match,
but
though.
they didn't. Yeah, it was. Joe could have some sick matches with some of the NXT's top guys of today, and Kross has already begun a main roster run, so it's a no-brainer. Drops the title and starts on Raw full time, I think, on the Raw after SummerSlam. And he sucks. He needs to go.
Nice.
I don't want to watch him anymore. I don't watch NXT for guys like him.
So I'm similar. I'm saying Joe wins and Kross leaves because he's already like half out the door, right? Like
right. It's like...
been on Raw how many times
Why
now?
would he still be around? Like, he's already half on Raw.
NXT really seems to be in a state of flux because there's a lot of like, as we're predicting these matches, right? It depends if this person's staying or going or moving to main roster or not, which is just the way things
Depending
are right
on
now.
the main roster, staying in the US, leaving for
Right.
AEW.
Yeah.
Like...
So I think Joe wins, and because he's been like giving some people the cut eye backstage, right? Like notably Pete Dunne. There was somebody else I couldn't remember.
Gargano?
Maybe. So that's what I'm hoping. Joe wins the title, and it just sets up some amazing matches because Joe's kind of like, I don't want to say anti-hero, but he's like straddling that whole heel face, so he could take on anybody, right? Like, I don't think it matters with the character
he's
Joe's.
Definitely not that young, but he's a bona fide star. I think they can admit that. And he's still good.
And it's believable, that whole, I just want to fight people. I don't care if they're good or bad. I want to fight the best people.
He could ask people to knock on his door.
So I'm thinking like Dunne, Ciampa, Gargano would all be
Cole.
amazing, right? So yeah, Cole as well. So
O'Reilly.
I'm really hoping Joe wins. I mean, it seems like the writing's on the wall and Kross is out of here. We could be surprised.
What would have been a good match?
What?
Samoa Joe versus Tyler Rust.
Yes, of course. Good old R.I.P. Tyler Rust career.
I miss Tyler Rust
in
still.
WWE. So that's going to wrap up our NXT TakeOver 36. Now, as a bonus, see what I threw on the bottom there?
I did.
So we're going to do this in like just like your quick, whatever, 20, 30 seconds on each match. So it's the Impact Emergence card that's actually on tonight. So we're just going to, and you don't really watch the product other than listening to me review it on Saturdays. You kind of know what's going on, but it's not like you watch it. So
yeah, I catch it with an earshot. But
this match was just sort of came up. We got Deonna Purrazzo and Matthew, say it for me because I can't. Ray Walt, which is the Drama King, FKA Aiden English, facing Melina and Trey Miguel. So go ahead. Who you picking?
Melina and Trey, because Melina.
I'll take the other two because they won that tournament, and I think they need to sort of like keep that gimmick going that they're the best mixed tag team. So I'll take the Impact combo. Rohit Raju, my boy, versus Matt Cardona, not my boy. Matt
Cardona because Matt Cardona.
I'm afraid I agree with you. I would love Rohit to win, but I think Cardona is also going to win.
That you think that's possible.
I wish. Rohit's awesome. Decay versus Tasha Steelz, Savannah Evans, Fala Ba, and No Way.
You mean Fala and Flava?
Fala and Flava plus No Way and Savannah Evans.
I guess I'll pick Decay because they're an actual team.
Okay, I'll agree with you. I don't really have a lot of thoughts on it, so I don't. Yeah, I don't think Falaba and No Way part of a winning team. Although Steelz and Evans are a new team, so they might need to look strong.
Take the fall.
But they don't need to be involved in the finish. You're right. I'll take Decay as well. Petey Williams versus Macklin.
Macklin because he's new.
Macklin, this is his first time stepping up to face real competition. Williams is sort of like they just throw him in when they need him. So I'm pretty confident Macklin wins this match decisively. X Division Championship match: Josh Alexander versus Jake Something.
Alexander.
I agree. Alexander is on a heck of a run right now. They're just trying to build Jake a little bit right now. I think he's definitely not ready for the X Division Championship, and that division's really strong. There's a lot of cool matches they can have with Alexander in the future. I think he could be the face of the company going forward, so I'm going to take Alexander as well. Number 1 contenders match. 4-way. Sami Callihan versus Moose versus Chris Sabin versus Ace Austin.
Austin.
You're taking Ace Austin. Makes sense to take a heel to go and face Cage.
I like him.
I will also. Am I going to take that? I will, just because I think they're going to try something different. Although Sami Callihan, he's been put forth as like an anti-hero now, strongly. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to say, I haven't thought about this one. Just to be different, I'll say Sami Callihan, because he's getting a ton of attention on this week's show, which I'll talk about tomorrow. And then finally, the World Championship match, Christian Cage versus Brian Myers, which some people are mocking, but I don't have a problem with this. What are you saying?
Christian, because Brian Myers is Brian Myers.
I agree. They're making such a big deal of Christian winning this, and he's sort of pandering to Impact crowds and going on his history of being there 15 years ago. Myers is a really useful heel.
You missed the tag title 3-way.
For Impact, did I?
Yeah.
We'll come to it after this. So Myers has been a really useful heel, and I think he's been doing a good job. I copied it right from their own programming, but anyways, maybe it got added after. I don't know.
Oh, and Madison Rayne, Taylor Wilde.
So Myers has been good, but I don't think he's getting the win here. Sorry. So what else is added?
So Madison Rayne, Taylor Wilde.
Oh my goodness, that I don't care about at all. I'll say Madison Rayne.
Me too.
Just because. And?
Tag title 3-way, Good Brothers, VBD, Swan Mac.
Oh yeah, I had that on here. Sorry, we got cut off the bottom. Because that I thought was interesting, because even in the billing, they're billing that as the last match. So I don't know if they're saying that's the main event or whatever, but
Good Brothers, because Good Brothers.
So sorry, it's Good Brothers, Violent by Design, and...
Swan Mac.
Oh right, yeah, I'll take Good Brothers, because... Same reason, Good Brothers, and I just don't see either of the other teams. It's possible, because it could be one of those the Good Brothers lose without getting pinned, so they're still strong. But I will also take the Good Brothers, because it's just Impact, and we're not that invested in it. All right? I guess that's going to wrap it up, yeah?
Yes, sir.
So we will be definitely back tomorrow with, what are we at? Episode 57 of the main show, where we'll look at NXT and AEW Dynamite and a few other things along the way. Impact,
so
probably...
And we will also
CM Punk's debut. Probably.
Yes, cover the first AEW Rampage, the first dance. That's just results, not really match notes. If you want match coverage on that, you're looking at the wrong place.
Yep.
But if you want to just hear our thoughts on it, then we're talking about that too.
We will. So yeah, thanks for any listen that you're giving us today, and we hope to see you back here tomorrow. And until then, take care.